A railway bridge marks the border between Honduras and Guatemala. Its wooden deck is broken and is only a few inches wider than the vehicles. The drop into the river below is hundreds of feet. The bridge is an impressive structure, but nothing compared with the rock roadway the Spanish explorer Cortés built through Central America. 450 years old, parts of it still stand today, but the road goes almost nowhere. Nowhere except along the route of Camel Trophy. The convoy is the first motorized expedition to follow Cortés' route from Honduras into Guatemala. The locals take bets that it won't succeed.
It's getting a bit tough, isn't it?
Easy, yeah.
But we'll get over it. It's no problem. It's just the odd rock. Okay.
Man and machine, muscle and Land Rover, the human and mechanical pairing get to grips with the ancient roadway. After 2 weeks in partnership, the teams and their vehicles are able to tackle anything Central America throws their way. Inch by inch, softly, softly, the teams nurse the Land Rovers over boulders and branches. Speed is not an option. Four-wheel driving at its best is an art practiced with brain, not brawn.
Okay.
We're enjoying it. The only problem is the heat. It drains you. Really leaves you exhausted. I'm doing the driving right now, but before I was directing. Tomas was my partner. And when you're out in the sun and up the hill and down the hill and with the weeds and everything, it's tiring.
I mean, very hard work, very, very difficult driving. More or less, we had to dig our own roads here for the last, I would say, 2 kilometers. It's basically just a horse track, and we had to cut out the road ourselves, simply widening, find rocks to put into the tracks, and yeah, basically build a road. That's hard work.
Gangs of team members gnaw away at the undergrowth and the deep ruts on Spanish Road, gradually clearing away along the historic trail. It takes an hour to edge forward 1 kilometer. Every hole has to be filled, every dead tree moved clear. The goal is to be free of the jungle by dusk. The teams step up a gear. One rut is too deep to fill, too wide to bridge. The Israeli car is its first victim.
The technique was just to make it safe so the car will not crash at the wall in the other side. So one car will make the safety and one car pull it ahead. That's all.
Even with the trail cleared, the jungle swallows cars and their drivers whole.
It's indeed a lot more interesting now because we are doing the track, which is a little bit more difficult. But of course, that means we stop for once in a while because the road has to be cleared. So now there's a lot of people up front clearing up the track, so we can keep going. But that happens all the time, so it's a lot of waiting.
There's a tree hanging over the road, and the cars can't get under it. So we have to dig a hole, which makes it deeper, so that both the Discoveries and the Defenders, because they're slightly higher, can pass through. Discoveries can get through now, but Defenders not yet.
Every lesson in four-wheel driving, every hour spent training for Camel Trophy, finally pays off. The teams are being pushed to their limits, the Discoveries to theirs. The odds for getting through are looking good.
This is true Camel Trophy stuff, absolutely. We've had a really tough day today, doing quite a lot of driving through really tight mountain tracks. At first the going was pretty easy, just very delicate driving, very soft touch driving. We've come through a path now that apparently was used by the conquistadors a couple of 100 years ago or something like this, and it hasn't been used since. So through erosion and trees falling down and just the natural process, this track has been absolute hell today. We've cleared it as best we can. It's still a very testing track for the vehicles coming through. A lot of vehicles have been damaged, but it's really gratifying work. It's really getting stuck into it, and it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Right.
Under darkness, the teams conquer Spanish track. 12 hours it has taken to crawl 12 kilometers. Each meter won back from the jungle, each hole bridged by hand. "450 years after Cortés, the modern adventurers escape from Spanish track. For a day, they have been caught in its grip. The reward is Lake Izabal, where the fishermen had bet against seeing the convoy. To them, the impossible had just been achieved. The lake looks like heaven. Its fresh waters lap against hot white sand. The villagers live in thatched huts. Free from the jungle, the insects disappear. The heat drops, and the teams dream of a few days camping on the beach. It's an impossible dream. The clock is ticking. Belize beckons. There is time only for a swim before the convoy moves on again. Guatemala seems never-ending, up the entire length of its long eastern borders, where roads are rare and where bandits roam. The convoy has 500 miles of motoring before crossing back to Belize. On their own again for 2 days, the teams make a break for Belize. The road north takes the teams back into the Petén, but in the east, the Petén is mountainous, not a jungle. The teams use their GPS satellite navigation compasses to find the right way. Japan's Katsumi Murayama is the king of navigation. His job is to find the elusive mud everyone was craving. The sting in the tail.
Good GPS and good map. We never lost the way. We reached here properly.
The teams are given the mud they wanted. Deep in the jungle, just into Belize, the tracks turned to mire.
We expected something like this all the time, but it was no raining, but now maybe it will be some mud and some winching and fighting with mud. We are looking forward for this.